Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing my yearly tier list of all the movies, all the new movies I saw in 2023. So I saw 12 new movies, and if we're going to be honest, pretty good year for movies. I have full tiers this time. I have A, B minus, C plus, and C minus. So as you guys could see, nothing below a C minus, and C minus I consider, below average, but, not awful. So I don't think we've had like a bad movie this year, well, at least that I've seen. Though, generally, if I see something and I think it's going to be bad anyway, why would I watch it? I'm kind of tuned out with most of Marvel movies, or DC movies. So, that gets rid of most of the D's and F's down there. And I'm not a big horror movie fan, so they'll probably be down there too. Anyway, enough preamble. Let's get started. So, kicking off the year, I started with John Wick 4. So, I'm going to put this in the C plus tier. I think it was a very good end to the series, both in terms of John Wick's character arc and as a movie itself. Huge spectacle. We had a lot of practical effects here, huge stunts. We got all sorts of fight scenes, hand to hand, guns, knives, all sorts of stuff here. I thought it was great. Very fun movie to see on the big screen. And each movie has a bigger budget, but they still remain kind of, I don't know, they don't lose itself, I feel like. So, yeah, it just gets much more epic than the other ones. So I'm going to give that a C plus. Moving on to the Super Mario Brothers movie, I'm gonna give this a C minus. C minus doesn't mean bad; it means below average. Um, Obviously, I'm not the target demographic. I'm not a 10-year-old, and also I've never really played the Mario games. Played it sometimes a little bit with my friends, but not really a huge Mario fan. Though I enjoyed the movie, and like the animation was very pretty, and it was funny at times. But overall, not exactly memorable. So a lot better than I thought it would be. So that's why it's going in C minus. Okay, moving on. We got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Marvel has kind of been on a nosedive lately, but once in a while they have some good shows and movies. Like out of this year, I enjoyed Loki and Guardians 3. I didn't really bother with anything else, if we're being honest. So this is going in C plus. Similar to John Wick, it was a very satisfying end to the trilogy, and it had all the characters had nice little resolutions to their arcs. For being a 2.5 hour movie, it was impressive that it managed to have story arcs for all like 8 of the main characters. But yeah, the villain, nothing special. I liked Rocket's backstory a lot. Very solid film, and I wish Marvel would take notes and maybe make good movies, or just stop making movies altogether because most of us are sick of them. Moving on, we have Across the Spider-Verse, which is the sequel to Into the Spider-Verse. This is getting an A. I absolutely loved this movie. Um, Definitely the movie of the year in my opinion. So it has a couple ties, for being honest. It's like tied. But yeah, from the gorgeous animation, great voice acting, the plot twists, the really deep characters for a Spider-Man movie, has everything you'd like. Very like imaginative, and I feel like it's gonna pave the way for animation to come. I feel like a lot of times in recent years, Japan is kind of beating us in an animation game because with Americans, it's either kids shows or very bad adult animated comedies. Well, with Across the Spider Verse and Invincible, it they're able to have that animated drama department, which is really cool, very vivid, just beautiful, in my opinion. And I cannot wait for Beyond the Spider Verse, which I think is the final one in that trilogy. I don't know when it's coming out because I think the strike delayed that. So, whenever it does come out, I'll be first in line. Well, actually, no, because I go to movies on Tuesday because they're discounted. So, you know, I'll see it on day 4. Um, So yeah, that one's getting an A. Moving on, we have Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. So first off, I gotta say this is way better than any seventh movie in a series has any right to be. You know, most movies get bad after three, and I feel like Mission Impossible gets better as it goes on. I'm not saying this was like the best movie ever or anything. It's getting a C plus, but just the action, the set pieces, the mix of practical effects and CGI, likable performances by, of course, Tom Cruise, but also Rebecca Ferguson, Ving Rhames, Simon Pegg, Haley Atwell, and Vanessa Kirby. Very good ensemble. I like how the ensemble keeps growing each movie. Um, and while this is first in a two-part movie, I think it standed well enough on its own because even though we have to wait 2 years for the next one, well, 1 year now because this came out in 2023, so it's going to be 2025. I'm still left satisfied and wanting more instead of being like, oh, that's it. I feel like sometimes when they split up movies, I feel like that, but not with this one. I really enjoyed it. Moving on to Balby, which is getting a C minus. Now, I got to admit, guys, I don't know the Balby lore. I'm not the target demographic. I did not play with Balbies as a kid, and I don't know. I'm just not the biggest Barbie fan. But this movie had some funny moments in it. I like the performances, especially from Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling. But I feel like overall the movie kind of it was like those parts I liked, parts I didn't like. Um you could see my full review if you want to see that. But yeah, this is the worst movie I saw this year, but given the fact that it's still a C minus, means I did not hate it. So, something had to be last, I guess. Now I saw this one the same day as Barbie because I follow the trends apparently, and I love this one much better. This was Oppenheimer, directed by Christopher Nolan, based on the book American Prometheus, which is also a very great book. This, of course, is about the inventor of the bomb, Robert Oppenheimer, played brilliantly by Cillian Murphy, and the supporting cast is great too, between Emily Blunt, Robert Downey Jr., Matt Damon, and several other people. It's it's a very psychologically moving movie. Most of my friends did not like it. They thought it was boring, but I really enjoyed this from the directing aspect, a screenplay, acting. Very very haunting imagery. Just yeah, overall great. And if the book is accurate, this is very accurate to the biography on him. So it's also historically accurate. Moving on, we have Killers of the Flower Moon, which I thought was also pretty good. It's by Martin Scorsese. I'm going to give this one a C plus. Not one of the best movies of the year, but I still enjoyed it. It's about the 1920s Osage Nation, which is a tribe of Native Americans who are being violently killed one by one in this huge like conspiracy to steal their oil money. Um, One of the standouts for this movie is Robert De Niro, and he plays this. He kind of plays the devil. He gets everybody to like him and trust him, but really he's like killing them and trying to steal their money. Lily Gladstone's pretty good, though. If I'm being honest, not my favorite performance by Leonardo DiCaprio. He seems kind of stiff in this, and I wish more of the movie was spent on the investigative side with the FBI man played by Jesse Plemons, because I the book, The Killers of the Flower Moon book, really dived into that, and I wish the movie did too. But overall, I thought it was a pretty solid movie. I enjoyed it a lot, so that's getting the C plus rating. Okay, moving on, we have Past Lives, which is a A24 movie with it's set in like the 2000s about these two South Koreans where like the woman moves to North America. They were friends when they were little. She moves to North America and they reconnect several years later. And it's like a will they won't they romance. And she's they're thinking about how much their lives have changed and the regrets and stuff. Very good movie. Pretty low key compared to most of these other movies, but I like low key movies once in a while. Not everything has to be this huge blockbuster with a bunch of effects. some of it could be, smaller stories like this. And I think it was very well acted by both of them, and a pretty good script too. Especially impressive given that this is the director's first movie, I believe. Okay, moving on, we have The Boy and the Heron. This is directed by Miyazaki. Um, there's only a few directors I'd see like any movie they'd make. Miyazaki, David Lynch, and Christopher Nolan. If they make a new movie, gonna bet that I'm gonna see it. So it has everything you'd expect from a Miyazaki movie. We have a great soundtrack, just pleasant animation, very vivid 2D animation, which is good because I feel like a lot of movies nowadays don't use 2D animation. They have you know fantasy elements that aren't exactly explained. We have a young protagonist, a lot of planes, real little cute creatures. So pretty much everything you expect from a Miyazaki movie. And I thought it was pretty good, but not as good as some of his classics. Like it's no Princess Mononoke, it's no Spirited Away, it's no Howl's Moving Castle. Those are like my top three Miyazaki movies. It's still pretty good though, but just try to keep in mind like it's not going to be as good as those. Okay, what do I have left? I have two left. So actually this one's pretty recent. This is why my video's been delayed. Yesterday I saw two movies. I did another double feature. My first one was The Holdovers, starring Paul Giamatti. Kind of like Past Lives, it has this low budget, character driven feel to it, and I like that. Like I feel like this is kind of a resurgence of mid budget dramas. Between this and Past Lives, of course, and I guess Kills of the Flower Moon, but that was more on the high budget side. This is where Paul Giamatti plays a boarding school teacher who has to watch over these kids over the Christmas holidays who have nowhere else to go. And he has this unlikely connection with one of the students, and it's a very sweet story. Reminds me a lot of, either Finding Forrest or Dead Poet Society or Son of a Woman, one of those movies. Um, yeah, I thought it was very good. Funny and dramatic, a nice little mix there where like the humor doesn't offset the drama. So yeah, if you like those type of movies, those mid-budget dramas, I highly recommend it. Moving on to the last movie I saw this year, but certainly not the least, we have Godzilla Minus One, which is a Japanese movie about Godzilla. I don't know why it's called Minus One. That's never really explained. Um, I don't know, but I thought it was great. It's much more character driven than I would expect from a Godzilla movie. Usually, Godzilla is just him running around, eating people, and that's the movie. They got to stop him. But this one, they have actual human stakes to it, and a character arc where the guy feels like he's a coward for not being a kamikaze in World War II, so he tries to, you know, not be a coward anymore and face his fears of Godzilla. And you don't really get complex storylines like this in a Godzilla movie until now. And I thought the main actor did a really good job, and the effects on Godzilla were pretty decent too. I don't know what the budget was in this movie, but it looks better than most of Hollywood movies today. Um, so yeah, that is all 12 of the movies I saw this year. Which ones were your favorite? Did you see any good movies? Did you see any bad movies? I honestly did not see any bad movies this year. So please let me know down in the comments below, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.